Here is the front of a Bugatti Chiron Sport, and here is the rear half of a Bugatti Chiron Sport, and today we've got to connect both of them together.
There are moments in the automotive world that completely redefine what people believe is possible. Moments when a single project challenges decades of tradition, exposes industry secrets, and forces even the most powerful manufacturers to respond. One such moment arrived when YouTube creator Mat Armstrong revealed that he had successfully brought a heavily damaged Bugatti Chiron back to life. Almost instantly, the internet exploded. Millions watched in disbelief as a car many believed was destined for the scrapyard returned to the road. But what shocked enthusiasts even more was the reaction that followed. Suddenly, the conversation was no longer just about a rebuilt hypercar. It became a debate about ownership, engineering, brand control, and the future of automotive repair itself. For years, Bugatti has occupied a nearly mythical position in the automotive hierarchy. The Chiron is not merely a car, it is an engineering masterpiece. Producing over 1,500 horsepower from its legendary quad-turbocharged W16 engine, the Chiron represents the absolute limits of road-going performance. Every component is designed, tested, and manufactured to standards that few companies on Earth can match. With price tags reaching several $1 million, ownership itself is reserved for an incredibly exclusive group. Because of this exclusivity, Bugatti has always maintained strict control over servicing and repairs. Owners are expected to rely on authorized technicians and factory-approved procedures. In Bugatti's world, perfection is non-negotiable. A single improperly repaired component could potentially compromise safety at speeds exceeding 250 miles per hour. From the manufacturer's perspective, this level of oversight is essential. Then came the accident. The Chiron that eventually found its way into Mat Armstrong's workshop had suffered significant damage. To many observers, the car appeared beyond saving. Insurance companies often classify such vehicles as total losses because the cost and complexity of repairs become overwhelming. In the hypercar world, even minor damage can result in repair bills that stretch into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most people assumed the story would end there. Mat Armstrong saw something different. Known throughout YouTube for rebuilding exotic vehicles that others have written off, Armstrong had already developed a reputation for tackling projects considered impossible. Lamborghinis, Ferraris, McLarens, he had restored them all. But a Bugatti Chiron represented an entirely different challenge. This was not simply another supercar. It was arguably the most sophisticated production automobile ever built. The decision to take on the project immediately divided opinion. Supporters viewed Armstrong as the ultimate underdog, an independent builder proving that passion, determination, and technical skill could overcome seemingly impossible obstacles. Critics argued that attempting to rebuild such an advanced machine outside factory conditions was reckless. Some believed the car should never return to public roads unless restored exclusively by Bugatti itself. As the rebuild progressed, millions followed every update. Viewers witnessed extraordinary moments. Components were removed, structural damage was assessed, and hidden engineering solutions were revealed to the public for the very first time. What fascinated audiences most was seeing the inner workings of a machine usually shrouded in mystery. For decades, hypercar manufacturers have cultivated an image of near-magical complexity. Owners rarely witness major repairs. The public almost never sees these vehicles completely dismantled. Armstrong's videos changed that. Suddenly, ordinary enthusiasts could observe exactly how one of the world's most expensive automobiles was assembled. And with that transparency came controversy. Throughout the rebuild, Armstrong repeatedly encountered obstacles obtaining certain components and technical information. These challenges reignited an ongoing global debate known as the right to repair movement. Advocates argue that consumers should have the freedom to repair and maintain products they legally own. Manufacturers, meanwhile, emphasize safety, liability, intellectual property, and quality control. The Bugatti project quickly became one of the most visible examples of this conflict. Many viewers questioned whether a company should retain significant control over a vehicle after it has been sold. Others argued that when dealing with machines capable of extraordinary speeds, manufacturers have a responsibility to ensure repairs meet exact standards. Neither side lacked compelling arguments. What made the situation even more intriguing was the eventual involvement of Bugatti CEO Mat Armstrong. Unlike traditional automotive executives, Rimac built his reputation as an innovator and entrepreneur. Before leading Bugatti Rimac, he founded Rimac Automotive, transforming a small startup into one of the world's most respected electric hypercar companies. Because of his background, many wondered how he would react to Armstrong's highly publicized rebuild. Would legal action follow? Would Bugatti attempt to stop the project? Would the company publicly condemn the rebuild? The answer surprised nearly everyone. Rather than escalating tensions, communication channels reportedly opened between the parties. Rimac's response appeared measured and focused primarily on safety. He acknowledged the passion surrounding the project, while emphasizing the enormous engineering challenges associated with a vehicle like the Chiron. From Bugatti's perspective, this stance made perfect sense. A Chiron operating at maximum performance experiences forces few road cars will ever encounter. Components endure immense thermal loads, extraordinary stress, and extreme aerodynamic pressures. A seemingly insignificant defect could potentially produce catastrophic consequences at high speeds. This reality explains why manufacturers establish rigorous standards. Yet Armstrong's rebuild demonstrated something equally important. Highly complex machines are still machines. They can be understood. They can be analyzed. And in certain circumstances, they can indeed be repaired outside factory walls by individuals possessing sufficient expertise, patience, and determination. As the project advanced toward completion, public interest intensified further. Every successful milestone challenged assumptions about what independent workshops could accomplish. Every obstacle highlighted the difficulties facing enthusiasts attempting to preserve exotic automobiles. The rebuild ultimately became much larger than a single Bugatti. It evolved into a symbol. For some, it symbolized innovation, ingenuity, and the spirit of independent problem-solving. For others, it represented the dangers of underestimating the complexity of modern engineering. Both interpretations contain truth. Modern automobiles increasingly rely on software, proprietary systems, specialized equipment, and manufacturer-controlled ecosystems. As vehicles become more technologically advanced, questions surrounding ownership rights will only grow more significant. If you purchase a multi-million-dollar automobile, how much control should remain with the manufacturer? Should companies possess the authority to restrict repairs? Should owners have unrestricted freedom to modify and rebuild their property? Or does public safety justify certain limitations? The Chiron rebuild forced enthusiasts worldwide to confront these difficult questions. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the entire story was not the completed car itself, but the conversation it sparked. Millions who had never previously considered issues surrounding repair rights suddenly found themselves debating engineering ethics, consumer freedoms, and corporate responsibility. Very few YouTube projects achieve that level of impact. By the time Armstrong finally unveiled the restored Chiron, the automotive world had already changed. The project had demonstrated that transparency, curiosity, and determination could challenge long-standing assumptions. It had also reminded manufacturers that modern audiences value openness and authenticity. For Bugatti, the saga reinforced the importance of balancing exclusivity with engagement. Protecting a brand's legacy remains essential, but so does recognizing the passion that drives automotive enthusiasts. For creators like Mat Armstrong, the project proved that ambitious storytelling combined with genuine technical skill can captivate audiences worldwide. And for viewers, the rebuilt Chiron served as a reminder that innovation does not belong exclusively to corporations. Sometimes, groundbreaking achievements emerge from workshops, garages, and individuals willing to attempt what everyone else considers impossible. In the end, this was never simply a story about a damaged hypercar. It was a story about ownership, about passion, about challenging accepted limits. And perhaps most importantly, it was a story about the evolving relationship between manufacturers and the people who love their machines. Because in an age increasingly defined by software restrictions, digital locks, and corporate control, one question remains more relevant than ever. When you buy something extraordinary, who truly owns it? The company that built it or the person who paid for it?